next story you want to talk about?
Well, Jimmy Carter died.
Okay, I'll pull that up. Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
yeah. See, I've never been one to romanticize uh, politicians when they die. Even the ones I like Jimmy Carter, I actually liked him. But
Me
even
too.
those, even politicians like him, whom I respect and admired, uh, have their issues. All right,
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of the Roosevelts, but they also had their issues and did a lot of stuff that I have reason to condemn them for, and I just do not romanticize people. So yeah, there's a lot of people in East Timor uh, who are not mourning Jimmy Carter's passing, but yeah, it's yeah, it's you kind of have to take the good and the bad and weigh them against each other. I will say that Carter was a much better human being after he left office than he was while in office. But
yeah,
we shouldn't really ignore the very real things that he did. I mean, uh, for example, he did support the Pol Pot government ousted by Vietnam in 1979. Uh, Support was essential to further punishment of Vietnam for having successfully defended her own population against the American invaders. U.S. Indochina's strategy also intended to outflank the Vietnamese, who were aligned with the Soviet Union, and to back the Pol Pot forces aligned with. Uh, Carter declared his support for the Shah of Iran, despite the rampant torture practiced by the Shah's secret police in close collaboration with the CIA more emphatically than Richard had. There is no leader with whom I have a deeper sense of personal friendship and gratitude. Following the Indonesians' 1995 invasion of East Timor, Carter continued to arm Indonesia's army dictatorship as well as give diplomatic vetoing UN resolutions to end the atrocities in the former Portuguese colony. So that war killed more than 200,000 Maoris, making it the worst genocide relative to population since World War II up to that point. Uh, Carter did nothing to pressure General Suharto, which is a Indonesian chief of state, to end the war, and he was an ally and major supporter of the Indonesian military's repression of its own population. So, yeah, and then of course he supported Nicaragua's then dictator Anastasio Somoza, who murdered and repressed tens of people. So, you know, and
yeah,
despite a lot of people uh, rightly giving Ronald Reagan flack for selling weapons to Iran so that he could arm the terrorist Contra regime, Carter also supported the Contras. So, it's not like, Carter's hands are necessarily clean. He did a lot as president
yeah,
that is just as blood soaked as his successors.
yeah.
But
Trump.
he gets a lot of a pass from a lot of people because of the things he did after his presidency, which I think
Yeah,
was largely driven by guilt over having wreaked so much destruction and havoc that I think he
yeah,
spent the rest of his life trying to make up for it, which I will give him credit for that. Don't get me wrong.
yeah. Me
But,
too.
we should always ever acknowledge the bad along with the good in any public figure, because only by accepting all of that person's actions, not just the ones that we want to cherry pick, can you get a complete picture of who that person actually was and give a fair uh, historical judgment. Because I got my master's in history and I minored in classical and medieval studies for my undergrad. So this is actually my area of special. Um, so as much as I like the guy, I have to admit, he did do a lot of stuff that he should be condemned.
Yeah, you're right. If we condemn, Bush and Obama and Trump and Joe Biden, yeah, gotta, yep, condemn Carter too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. In
he
my
was taking.
opinion, yeah, out of all the presidents under whose rule I've lived, from, so I think I was born in May. What month did Nixon resign in '74? I think might have been May. Um, but from Ford all the way to now, Carter was the least worst out of a horribly evil
Sure.
bunch.
Yeah.
That's about the best I can say about him as far as his
Yeah.
time in office. I'm not going to go
I
into his domestic policies, also quite conservative, but I will give him credit for the to try and open up government to participation from the citizenry, which unfortunately was undone under Reagan, but he at least tried. Um, but yeah, a very mixed record. But I think his post presidency, what he'll be most well remembered and respected for.